हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम बैक टू माय यूट्यूब चैनल। तो गाइस, गेट के फॉर्म्स ओपन हैं। प्लीज़ आप सभी जिसने भी गेट के फॉर्म अभी तक फिल नहीं किए 2022 के लिए, वो सबसे पहले गेट के फॉर्म फिल करें। बिकॉज लास्ट डेट हमारे पास 24th है विदाउट लेट फीस, और लेट फीस के साथ 1 अक्टूबर है। तो डोंट वेट फॉर द लास्ट टाइम। जिसने भी नई फॉर्म फिल किया है वो प्लीज़ आज ही फॉर्म फिल करें। और वीडियो स्टार्ट करने से पहले प्लीज़ आप सभी से रिक्वेस्ट है कि आप मेरा चैनल लाइक, कमेंट और सब्सक्राइब ज़रूर करें। कुछ भी आपकी क्वेरीज़ है तो आप मुझे कमेंट सेक्शन में कमेंट कर सकते हो, मैं आपकी क्वेरीज़ रिजॉल्व करूँगा। तो चलिए आज हम प्रैक्टिस सेट 2 करेंगे। उसमें आज हम नेक्स्ट 10 क्वेश्चंस को फोकस करेंगे कि उसमें किस टाइप के क्वेश्चंस हम कवर कर सकते हैं। चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं। सो फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज़ इन एन एस्केलेटर। यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन बहुत शॉर्ट दिया है तो हमें क्वेश्चन से कुछ आइडिया नहीं होगा कि एस्केलेटर्स में, बट हमें ये जज करना है 4 ऑप्शन से कि विच ऑफ द ऑप्शंस इज़ बेस्ट सूटेड फॉर एन एस्केलेटर। तो फर्स्ट ऑप्शन है द लेफ्ट हैंडल मूव्स वाइल्स द राइट इज स्टेशनरी। द लेफ्ट हैंडल मूव्स वाइल्स द लेफ्ट इज स्टेशनरी। बोथ हैंडल्स आर मूविंग। बोथ हैंडल्स आर स्टेशनरी। तो आई होप एवरी वन हैज़ यूज द एस्केलेटर्स, वेदर इन मॉल, वेदर इन एनी कॉमर्शियल प्लेसेस। तो एस्केलेटर्स में आपने जब भी देखा है, हम स्टेप पे खड़े होते हैं और हमारा हाथ एक हैंडरेल पे होता है, तो स्टेप्स के साथ साथ वो हैंडरेल भी मूव करती है। तो सबसे पहले तो एक चीज़ कि वो स्टेशनरी नहीं होती हैंडरेल। तो आंसर यहाँ पे डी इनकरेक्ट है। और अभी फर्स्ट और सेकंड में ये बोला गया कि लेफ्ट हैंडरेल मूव करती है, राइट स्टेशनरी होती है, या सेकंड में है राइट हैंडरेल मूव करती है और लेफ्ट स्टेशनरी होती है। तो आपने कभी भी अगर एस्केलेटर पे खड़े हुए हो तो एक स्टेप पे रफली 2 पर्सन्स खड़े हो सकते हैं, और दोनों अगर हैंडल पे एक एक हैंड भी रखें तो वो स्टेप्स के साथ ही मूव करते हैं। अगर हैंडल मूव नहीं करेगी तो एक्सीडेंट होने के चांसेस होंगे, बिकॉज हम हैंडल को ग्रिप एज ए होल्ड करते हैं जब मूव करती है। तो स्टेशनरी वाला पार्ट इनकरेक्ट होगा, क्योंकि जब भी एस्केलेटर का स्टेप मूव करता है तो दोनों हैंडल मूव करती हैं। तो यहाँ पर आंसर सी होगा, बोथ हैंडल्स आर मूविंग। So in addition to rotation, the main chain loops, the electric motor in an escalator also moves the handrail. जो इलेक्ट्रिक मोटर होती है एस्केलेटर्स में, वो हैंड्रेल्स को भी मूव करती है along with the steps. A handrail is simply a rubber conveyor belt that is looped around a series of wheels. This belt is precisely configured so that it moves at exactly the same speed as the steps to give rider some stability. अगर दोनों की स्पीड सेम नहीं होगी तो एस्केलेटर पे जो आपका हाथ है वो हो सकता है कि आपका हाथ पीछे रह जाए और आपके स्टेप्स आगे बढ़ जाएं, जिसकी वजह से एक्सीडेंट हो सकता है। तो टू अवॉइड सच एक्सीडेंट्स, स्टेप्स की मूवमेंट और हैंडल की मूवमेंट की स्पीड दोनों की सेम होनी चाहिए। तो इससे एक क्वेश्चन ये भी बन सकता है कि जो हैंडरेल मूव करती है वो स्टेप्स के इक्वल स्पीड में मूव करती है, कम में, ज़्यादा में, या मूव ही नहीं करती। तो उस केस में आपको कंफ्यूज नहीं होना है। तो दोनों की स्पीड सेम होगी तभी हम एस्केलेटर पे प्रॉपरली विदाउट एक्सीडेंट मूव कर सकेंगे। तो चलिए नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन पे। पॉइंटेड आर्च, सेक्सपर्टाइट वोल्टिंग एंड फ्लाइंग बट्रेसेस वर द टेक्निक्स टू स्पैन द ह्यूज स्पेसेस एंड टू हैंडल द थर्स्ट इन विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग आर्किटेक्चरल स्टाइल्स। तो यहाँ पे आपको 3 फीचर्स दिए गए हैं, आर्किटेक्चरल फीचर्स हैं। तो दीज टेक्निक्स टू स्पेन द ह्यूज स्पेसिस, और ये टेक्निक यूज़ की गई है ह्यूज स्पेसिस को स्पेन करने के लिए। एंड टू हैंडल द थर्स्ट इन विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग आर्किटेक्चर। तो 4 ऑप्शंस हैं: गोथिक आर्किटेक्चर, बाइजेंटाइन आर्किटेक्चर, रोमन आर्किटेक्चर एंड ग्रीक आर्किटेक्चर। सो point arch, sexpartite vaulting and flying buttresses are the techniques used in Gothic architecture. So all the 3 features are belongs to the Gothic architecture. So let's see what are these 3 features. So pointed arch, as you see in the image. So this is the pointed arch. It's pointed at both the it pointed at mid of the span. So pointed arch, it's also called as ogival arch or Gothic arch, is an arch with a pointed crown whose two curving sides meet as a relatively sharp angle at the top of the arch. This architectural element was particularly important in Gothic architecture. So next one is a sexpartite vault is a rib vault divided into six bays by two diagonal ribs and three transverse ribs. So as you see in the image, these are the two diagonal ribs, and if we consider the three transverse ribs, this one, and again this one. So, and these are the 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So these are the 6 bays by 2 diagonal ribs and 3 transverse ribs, and it forms a sexpartite vault. So please keep in mind what is a sexpartite vault. It is a rib vault that divided into 6 bays by 2 diagonal ribs and 3 transverse ribs. Next is flying buttresses. In short form, if I tell you, if this is the exterior wall and this one is the ground level, so to avoid fall of this external wall, earlier there were flying buttresses provided to support these walls. This can be in any design, but to avoid the lateral forces that push the wall outwards. So it can be into such design that this one is the brick part, and or it can be from stone masonry. So and this one is the building. So this one is the flying buttress. It is available in various shapes. If you see in the different architectural buildings, it can be directly hold the wall. So this is completely the wall. It can be in design, as you see in this design also, there is a this one is the wall with this tower. So these are the flying buttresses. So let's see the definition. The flying buttresses is a specific form of buttresses composed of an arch that extends from the upper portion of a wall to a pyre of great masses. It in order to convey to the ground the little forces that push the wall outwards, which are forces that arise from the wall ceilings of stone and from wind loading on roofs. So to transfer the loads from the walls to the ground, it is provided. So let's move to the next question. Villa Savoy at Poissy, France is a design of international famed architect Le Corbusier philosophy of. विला सेवोए में कौन सी फिलोसफी यूज़ की गई है इंटरनेशनल फ्रेम्ड आर्किटेक्ट ली कार्बूजियर के द्वारा. सो इफ़ यू I don't know whether you have seen the Villa Savoy or not, whether in pictures or not. I hope in every architectural colleges it is shown. Villa Savoy it's a great example of the Le Corbusier's architectural work. So I hope everyone has remember, and it is based on the 5 points of architecture. So answer is A. Now let's see what are the 5 points of architecture provided by the Le Corbusier. So Villa Savoy can be summed up including the 5 points of architecture, which are pilotis. So what are pilotis? Pilotis are these columns which are repeated after every interval of time. So these are pilotis. Pilotis are generally columns or piers. Next one is a free ground plan. As you have seen in first image also, and you have seen in the second image also. So ground floor plan is a free ground floor plan. Nothing planned rooms, or it is general floor. Then the free facade. So buildings which are free from facades, not completely free from facades from the safety perspective of view, but is it generally not very much architectural ornamentation. So next one is the horizontal windows. So these are the horizontal window features of the Villa Savoy building. And next one is the roof garden. So These are the 5 points which are framed by Le Corbusier, and Villa Savoye is based on these 5 points of architecture. So let's see the other three definitions. So sectoral planning. Sectoral planning means formulation and implementation of the sets of schemes or programs aimed at development of various sectors of the economy, such as agricultural sector, irrigation sector, manufacturing, power, construction, transport, communication, social infrastructure and services, etc. and etc. So sectoral planning is based on the different sectors. Next one is the surrealism. So, in 1924, writer Andre Breton penned the Surrealist Manifesto, which called the destabilize the divides between the dreams and the reality, between objectivity and subjectivity. So, हमारे सपने और असलियत के बीच में उन्होंने स्टेबलाइज किया था. Since then, the Salvador Dali and Frederick K. to Frank Gehry, Surrealism has profoundly shaped architecture in the 20th century. Many buildings designed based on the Surrealism concept. So next one is the Brutalism. It is also known as Brutalist architecture. So it is a style that emerged in the 1950s and grew out of the early 20th century. Modernist movement, brutalist buildings are characterized by their massive, monolithic, and blocky appearance of the rigid geometric style and large scale use of poured concrete. So it is, what are the features of the brutalist architecture? If there is a question, so you have to say massive, monolithic, and blocky appearance with a rigid geometric style and large scale used of poured concrete. As you see in the pictures, the completely building is based on the concrete. So this one is, sorry, so first building, this building is Habitat 67, designed by the Moshe Sefde architect. And this building, so I will not tell right now. You all have to comment the name of the building in the comment section. So this is a task to everyone. Whoever is seeing the video, please comment the name of the building in the comment section. And next, last one is 5 points of architecture, which I have already told you. This building is the Villa Savoye. So this is a pilotis, as you have seen. So the first architectural feature. The free ground floor plan is the second. Free flowing facade is the third. So nothing is ornamented. Fourth one is the ribbed window, or we can say horizontal windows. So as you see, the fourth, and the roof garden is the fifth. Let's move to the next question. A screen, usually of louvers placed on the outside of a building to shield the windows from direct sunlight, is called. So screen that are usually built of louvers placed on the outside of a building to shield the windows from direct sunlight is called brise-soleil. So brise-soleil is a feature, is a type of solar shading system that consists of a horizontal and vertical blades to control the amount of sunlight and solar heat that enters a building. So this is the brise-soleil. The name brise-soleil comes from the French word sunbreaker. So brise-soleil means sunbreaker. So it is used as a solar shading system. Next one is the drum wall. So this is a picture showing the drum wall, and this is a section of the drum wall. So these are the drums which are kept at the outer near the outer wall, and water is kept inside it. So when the sun rays enters, it absorbs the heats and insulate the building. So drum wall usually uses drums or barrels or other containers of water in place of the structural walls. As you seen in the figure, the solar radiation enters through the glass strikes, the drums, which are painted black to increase the heat absorption, thereby heating the water inside the drums. Next one is the trombe wall. Trombe wall is also another feature of absorbing the heat. It is generally this concept is generally used in the hilly areas or where the sunlight came from, where the high winters are there. So what happens when sun is there? So it fall on the glass facade. This one is a glass, and heat is coming from this area. So heat, as we know, hot air always rises up. So there is a puncture in the wall. So hot air enters from the wall, and as slowly it cools, so it settles down, and it again this process happens. Again at the bottom of the wall there is a puncture from where the cold air transfer to the towards the trombe wall, and it again heat up from the sunlight and it rises up. So this process happens again and again, and it increase the temperature, which helps in winters for the hilly areas. So trombe wall is a massive equator facing wall that is painted a dark color in order to absorb thermal energy from incident sunlight, and covered with a glass on the outside with an insulating air gap between the wall and the glaze. Trombe wall are also named moss walls, solar walls, or thermal storage wall. So next one is a solarium. Solarium in architecture, a room that is exposed to the sun. Often the solarium is a feature of a hospital or a sanitarium, a room in which patients may be exposed to sunlight in a controlled environment as part of their therapy. So it's a kind of room that is exposed to the sun. So it's used as a therapy. So let's move to the next question, fifth. Which among the following is not a housing project done by the architect B.V. Doshi? So there are 4 projects given. So we have to find which of the following project is not designed by B.V. Doshi. So Aranya Community Housing Indore, definitely designed by B.V. Doshi. Township of Reliance Industries Limited, Hazira, also designed by B.V. Doshi. Township of Gujarat State Fertilizer Corporation, Baroda, and Hudco Housing, Jodhpur. So out of these two, one is designed by B.V. Doshi and another is not. So let's see, the Hudco Housing, Jodhpur is designed by Charles Correa, not by B.V. Doshi. So here it is asked not a housing project done by B.V. Doshi. So answer will be the C. So Hudco Housing designed by the Charles Correa. Let's move to the next question. Human beings have binocular vision that covers about. So everyone has no binocular vision. So binocular vision is a vision which is particularly from the single eye view. So but for a human being, we have 2 eyes. So the view which is overlapped from the both eyes, that is not considered. So here answer will be the 140-degree. Let's see how. So binocular vision is a vision which each eye alone gives us roughly a 130-degree field of vision. With 2 eyes we can see nearly about the 180 degrees. So binocular vision, which is important for depth perception, only covers 140-degree of the field of vision in humans. The remaining peripheral 40-degree have no longer binocular vision because of the lack of the overlap in the images from either eye and those part of the face of value. So 140-degree is the right answer. So which building is regarded as the first modern building built on Indian soil? So 4 buildings are given: High Court, Chandigarh; Indian Institute of Technology, New Delhi; Golconda, Pondicherry; and Writers Building, Kolkata. So the first modern building built on Indian soil is Golconda, Pondicherry. It's not High Court, Chandigarh, which was opened on 15th August 1947. So Golconda Fort, it was built in 1935. So it is regarded as the first modern building. So Golconda was built during the 1937 to 1945 in Pondicherry, a French colony in the south of India on the shores of the Bay of Bengal. In a letter dated October 1935, the architect wrote to the mother, "I would not like you to shocked by the appearance of the building. We are laying the foundation of a new kind of architecture." So this was the letter to the mother written by the architect of the Golconda, Pondicherry. An Art Deco style of architecture is commonly found in which of the following cities? So Hyderabad and Bangalore is the first option. Second is Mumbai and Kolkata. Ahmedabad and Chandigarh is the third. Shimla and Darjeeling is the fourth. So Art Deco style of architecture is commonly found in Mumbai and the Kolkata. So answer will be the B. Let's move to the next. Which of the following buildings was not designed by Richard Rogers? So if you see the options, many of you know the answer easily. So Pompidou Center, Paris; Lloyd Bank Building, London; Guggenheim Museum, Bilbao; Millennium Dome, Greenwich. So everyone has knew the answer. Guggenheim Museum by Frank Gehry, Bilbao Museum is not designed by the Richard Rogers. So answer will be the C. So these are the buildings. First one is the Pompidou Center, Paris. Second one is the Lloyd's Bank Building, London. Third one is the Guggenheim Museum or Bilbao Museum. Fourth one is the Millennium Dome, Greenwich. Let's move to the next last question of today's video. The sensitivity of the slightest stimulus differences in psychological trend termed as perpetual change, sensory modulation, pregnance of the corresponding perception, and perceptual constancy. So answer will be, so the sensitivity to the slightest stimulus differences in psychological termed as the pregnance of the corresponding perception. So once perception is changed, so it's like a pregnance of the corresponding perception. Let's see what the other three terms are. So perpetual change states that the world is neither constant or cycling but always changing. So common descent. All life forms came from the common ancestor. Sensory modulation has been described as a graded and adaptive regulation of sensory input. It is done by each of us every day as both conscious and unconscious actions and behavior as we see, touch, smell, hear, and taste what is an offer in our environment. So next one is the perpetual change, also called object constancy or constancy phenomenon, the tendency of animals and humans to see familiar objects as having standard shape, size, color, and location regardless of change in the angle of perspective, distance, or lighting. So thank you guys. I hope you like my videos. Please comment, share, and subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you.